Selma Teacher 7, Mr. Bear here. Today is lesson number 5 for the computer literacy course. Now before I get into the main part of the lesson, I want to show you how to actually work with your Google Drive. That means working with your Chromebook when you don't have Wi-Fi. Yes, you can actually enable offline support so you can edit or actually create new documents, spreadsheets, or even presentations when you're not online. So let me show you how to do that. First off, we get into the settings here and you click on the gears. Once you get into the gears, you then go into settings, and then go down to the option where it says offline support. You need to click that one there, and once you do that, it's going to synchronize the contents of your Google Drive with your hard drive on your Chromebook so that you would be able to use it offline. Now for the main part of the lesson, today we'll be working with our Google Docs, and we'll be creating this document here, which is actually a calendar, and we'll be learning how to work with a word art and customize it. We'll also be learning how to work with the margins, and we'll be able to work with inserting a table and customizing a table as well. So let's get started with our lesson. So the first thing that we want to do today is start up our Chromebooks or our Windows machines and get to your Google account there. And once you're in there, we'll go over to a new tab, and notice right here we'll have the Google Apps. Go ahead and click on the Google Apps, and we're going to jump into our Google Drive. So we want to make sure that our offline support is enabled. So click on the Google Drive, and here I am in the Google Drive. Now what we're going to do is go over here and click on the gear icon that's above me, and then go down to settings. And then what we're going to do is actually find the setting called offline, and then click it once, and that will enable it. Now if this is the first time that you've used it, it will be installing apps onto your Chromebook or to your Windows machine. All you have to do is click on OK and install, and then after that you go back to your Google Drive, and everything should be enabled for offline support. Now after enabling offline support on your Chromebook, you will be able to create new documents and new work, as well as edit documents that you've created in the past that will be saved into your Google Drive automatically for you. And as before, you will be able to watch downloaded movies on your machine, as well as movies that you have saved on a thumb drive. Now let's get into the next topic. And that topic is lesson number 5, making of a fall calendar. Now the skills covered in this lesson will strengthen those learned in lessons 3 and 4. Now we will have Cartoon Barry. He'll point out special or important passages. Step number 1, we'll need to start the Chrome browser or open up your Chromebook and log into your Google account. Step number 2, we'll need to click on the apps icon found in the bookmarks bar or on the Google page. Step number 3, the app screen will load, showing the apps that are installed on your account. Step number 4, we'll need to click on the Drive icon as seen here. Number 5, the Google Drive app should load. And it should look like this, where you'll see Google Drive here, and you should notice your account avatar setting here. Step number 7, double click on your projects folder or your classrooms folder to open it. Step number 8, once it opens, you will see the documents that you have created in the past in class. And you should also notice that the address up here at the top, where I'm pointing at now, will say My Drive and then your project folder. Step number 9, take your mouse and then click on the New button that's found in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Number 10, a menu will pop down. Number 11, you'll need to click on the blue Google Docs icon as seen here. Now if you're asked to create this document in a shared folder, then you'll need to click on the blue button that says Create and Share. Step number 12, the Google Docs word processor will load as seen here. Step number 13, you'll need to give this document the title Project 3. You can do this by typing in the new title up here where it says Untitled Document. And if you don't want to click up there, you may also click on File and then Rename, and then give the document the name Project 3 Step number 14, click on the File menu. This should be found near the top of your screen, and then select Page Setup, which is one of the last options from the File menu. Step 15, once the Page Setup window opens, you'll need to change the margins and the page orientation as seen here. So for your page orientation, we're going to be using Landscape. So go ahead and take your mouse and click once on Landscape. Now after you've done that, if you hit your Tab key 3 times, then you'll notice that the insertion point jumps over here to the top of the margins, and it'll be a 1 that's highlighted here. Tap the point or the period and then the number 5. Hit the tab again and you notice that the bottom margin will be highlighted. Hit the 0.5 again and then hit tab again and the left margin will be highlighted. Then go 0.5, then hit the tab key again for the right and do 0.5 one more time, and then you may close this off by hitting the enter key once. We'll now be ready for step number 16. Click on the center align icon. Now just remember, you may always use the keyboard shortcut to center your text. That keyboard shortcut is Control-Shift-E, and that will center the text the same as clicking on the center align icon. Step number 18. After clicking on the center align icon, you should notice that the insertion point has jumped to the center of your first line within document as seen here. Step number 19. Take your mouse and click on the Insert menu found near the top of the screen and then select Image. Step number 20. The Insert Image window will open as seen here. 21. You'll need to click on Search the Web. Step 22. After clicking on Search the Web, a side window will open as seen here. Step 23. You need to key in the word November into the search box and then hit the enter key once. Step 24. The pictures of November should appear. Select the image that is similar to this one that I have circled here. After you've clicked it, you may click on the Insert button. Now please note, if the exact image cannot be found within the Google Images, you may select any very similar image. Step 25. The large image should now fill your page as seen here. Step 26. Click on the image and resize it. Now, whenever you do click on an image, you should always see these little blue squares. So resize it by dragging one of the blue squares to the top corner of the image as seen here. The image needs to be about 2 inches across after resizing it. You may use the ruler to help you in resizing the image. If you do not see the ruler, just click on its option found in the View menu. Now remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always hit the spacebar to pause the video, or you can use the arrow keys to go back or forward in the video as well. After resizing the image, it should appear somewhat like this, where you have the image at the top center of your document. Step 27. After resizing the image, take your mouse and click in that blank space that's to the right of the image to unselect the image. Step 28. Hit the enter key one time. This will cause the insertion point to jump down one space below the image. Step number 29. You should now notice that the insertion point is below the image and in the center of your page. 30. We're now going to have a quick review of Google's WordArt. Now last time we learned about Google's WordArt in lesson number 4. Now let's use this wonderful tool again. So this will be a quick review of WordArt. You don't have to follow these steps until we get back to our project. To find WordArt, you click on Insert, and then go down to Drawing, and then click New. From Drawing, you notice that you have these tools. The first one is Actions, then the Undo, Redo, Zoom, and then we also have Select, Line, Draw a Shape, Add a text box, or even add an image. For word art, we always click on Actions, and then we go down to Word Art. And I'll type in a word. And if I want that word to appear, I'll simply hit the Enter key once, and here we go. We have it. Now I see different tools up here because the word art is highlighted. So up here we have the fill color, and if I wanted to change the color, I click it, and let's say I wanted a dark green color there. I can also change the border color. That's the one with the pencil with a line. Click that, and maybe I want that border to appear yellow. I can change the border weight, and I want really wide there. There we go. And then I can even change the font. So if I wanted to choose ClickerScript, I can choose that, and now I have ClickerScript. Once I'm happy with the way everything looks, I simply click on Save and Close. Now if I wasn't happy with this word art, I'd simply double click it and the drawing tool would open. I would then click back into my word art and double click it, and I get my text box. Now I can click into the text box and change things around. Say the words. When I'm done, I hit the Enter key and it changes it for me. Then I can go in and maybe I want to change the angle. So I'd go over and actually drag the little circle icon over. I can change its direction here simply by moving this rotation tool. And when I'm happy with it, I click on Save and Close. There we go. If I'm happy with it, I click outside the box and I can begin typing my other work. Step number 31. You'll need to load the word art tool. You can do this by clicking on Insert. Now this link will be found near the top of the toolbars. Then click on Drawing, and then New. Step 32. The drawing window should load in front of your document. Step 33. Once the drawing window has loaded, you need to take your mouse and click on Actions. Now the Actions is the first word of this toolbar. And after clicking on Actions, a menu will appear. Take your mouse and then click on Word Art. Step 34. A text box should appear after clicking on Word Art. Type in the word October as seen here. Step 35. You'll need to hit the Enter key once. Now once you've done that, the word October will appear larger and in blue like you see here. What I'd like you to do is take your mouse and change the color and style of the word art. Step 36. You need to locate the Fill Color tool. Now the Fill Color tool looks like a can of paint being spilled out. Once you click it, a color palette will appear. You may choose any color that you want in this area. Step 36. Now after changing the color of the word art image, you may then change its font style. You can do this by clicking on the word Arial. Now the word Arial should be found in the drawing tools. If you do not see the word Arial, just take your mouse and click back onto the word October to highlight it, and then the word Arial will again appear. Now after you clicked on Arial, a menu will come down. This is your font styles. What I'd like you to do is click on Lobster. Step 37. Once you have selected a color and a font style that you like, I would like you to click on the blue Save and Close button that looks like this. Step 38. The word art should appear as seen here. We'll now be ready for step number 39. The word art image will need to be resized. You can do this by clicking on the word art image and then dragging one of the corner blue squares to the center of the word art image. So that is done by taking your mouse and clicking on the lower square, usually found in the lower right hand corner there, and then holding the mouse clicker down and then dragging up and to the left. As you do, you'll notice that the lines will move with you, and then as soon as you let go of the mouse, it will snap to its new size. You'll then be ready for step number 40. After resizing the word October, take your mouse and click to the right of that word art image and then hit the enter key once. This will lower the insertion point to below the word art October. We're now going to have an introduction to wrapping styles for images. Step number 41. Any of the images may be moved over each other by changing the wrapping style. What we'll need to do is click once on the fall image. That's the image with all the leaves on it. You should now notice that there is text that appears below the image. You'll say inline, wrap text, and break text. If you don't see that text, take your mouse and click on the image once. Step 42. Select the option called Wrap Text by clicking on it once. Please notice that October will jump up as seen here after you've selected Wrap Text. Step number 43. Now click once on the October image. Now, once you click on October, you should notice that there's lines around it and the squares appear around October. 44. Select the option called Wrap Text by clicking on it once. 45. Now drag the image of the word October. You'll need to drag it to the right to become part of the center of the fall image. Now you do this by clicking in the center of that word October and then dragging it all the way to the center of the image of the leaves, and it'll look like you're seeing here. Now when you are in the center of that image, a red line should appear. 46. If you ever make a mistake, just click on the undo button or use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Z and then try to move it again. Step number 47. Now the new image should look like this when finished. Notice that you have the image of the leaves and the word October appears in front of the leaves. Now what I'd like you to do is to take your mouse and click once on the outside of the image to unhighlight it. Step number 48. Hit the enter key 6 or 7 times to move the insertion point to below the image as seen here. So every time you hit the enter key, it goes down 1 space. After about 6 or 7 times, your flashing insertion point will be below that image of the leaves. Step 49. Now that the insertion point is below the image, take your mouse and click on Insert, that's found on the top menu. Step 50. Move down and select Table. 51. You'll need to float your mouse over to cover the rows and columns to make a calendar that's 7 columns by 5 rows. Now you do this by going into Insert, Table, and then floating straight across the gray area of the word table all the way across, and then still just floating across, and click once on the very last cell that I have circled here for you in the video. Step 42. Click on the last cell once you have the right number, that is 7 by 5. If you make a mistake, don't worry, just click on the undo button and try again. Step number 52. The table should be inserted into the document as seen here. Step number 53. You'll need to key in the days of the week within the cells of the first row as seen here. So take your mouse and click on the first cell and type in Sunday. Then use the Tab key to jump to the next cell within the table. Then key in the word Monday. Use the Tab key, type in Tuesday. Use the Tab key, type in Wednesday. Use the Tab key, type in Thursday. Hit that Tab key again, type Friday. Hit the Tab key again and type in Saturday. Now I'll pause the video here so that you can type in all the days of the week in the correct locations. Now remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always hit the space bar to pause the video, or you can use the arrow keys to go back or forward in the video as well. Step number 54. As you finish typing the days of the week, you may use the Tab key again to drop the insertion point down to the next row. Step number 55. The Tab key will also create rows within the table as well. Click below the cell of Thursday as seen here. Step number 56. You'll now need to key in the numbers as seen in these examples. Remember to use the Tab key to move the insertion point to the next cell, and it will also create more rows when needed. So if it's October 2020, start on the Thursday there, so click below Thursday and that's where your 1 goes. And if it's October 2021, well, the first starts on a Friday, so click below the Friday in that cell and then place a 1 in there in that cell as you see in the example. Hit 1 and then Tab 2, Tab 3, Tab 4, Tab 5, Tab 6, Tab 7, Tab 8, all the way to 31. And always remember, additional rows are added automatically simply by using the Tab key. 57. The table should look like this after all of your hard work. So notice you have the days of the week at the top where it says Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then we have all the numbers starting with 1 below Monday all the way to 31. Step 58. You will need to increase the size of the cells. To make the cells larger, just click to the right of any number and then hit the Enter key. Each time the Enter key is pressed, the cells grow larger. Now I used 3 on each row as seen in this example. So use the Enter key to make each row larger as seen here. So you do that by taking your mouse and clicking to the right of number 1 and then hit that Enter key 3 times. Then take your mouse and click to the right of 8 and hit that Enter key 3 times. And then take your mouse and click to the right of 15 and hit that Enter key 3 times. And then click to the right of 22 and hit that Enter key 3 times. And then take your mouse and click to the right of 29 and hit that Enter key 3 times to increase the size of that row. Step number 59. Now after increasing the size of all of the rows within your calendar, use the shortcut Control-A to highlight the entire calendar. Now shortcuts are done by pressing and holding the first key and then tapping the second key and letting go of both keys. So in this case, take your thumb and press and hold the Control key, which is found towards the bottom of your keyboard. And then tap the A key once and let go of both of them. Now, you'll notice that all of your cells are highlighted in a bluish color. Step number 60. You'll need to change the font from Arial to ClickerScript. You will need to find the ClickerScript font from the More Fonts selection, found at the top of the font selection menu. Here, let me demonstrate. So to find ClickerScript font, take your mouse and click on the word Arial right here at the top. When you do, it reveals more fonts. If you don't see ClickerScript, click on More Fonts, and then the fonts window opens. Click in the search box of the fonts, and then type in CLI, and the one that appears is ClickerScript. Click it so it becomes a check mark, as in my example, and then click on OK. And now all of your words will change in appearance as seen here. Step number 62. To make the text easier to read, with the text still highlighted, select the bow tool from the toolbar menu. Here, let me demonstrate. Now take your mouse and click on the B for bowed, as seen here. Your calendar should now look like this. Step number 63. You need to click within any cell to unhighlight the text. So just simply take your mouse and click once, perhaps on the very last cell, and all of the highlight goes away. Step number 64. We'll now need to personalize your calendar by inserting your name and at least 3 or 4 special days, such as made-up birthdays, into the calendar. So let me demonstrate. So to put in my name here, I'm going to just type in your name in the last cell. Now let's say I want a Halloween image to appear here. What I'm going to do is click to the right of 31 and then hit the enter key once. Now my insertion point is floating below the 31. So if I was to insert an image, it would appear down below the 31. So then I'm going to go over here and click on Insert, go down to Image and go across and down, and then I'm going to click on Search the Web. And now I'm going to type in the word Halloween, and I'm going to hit the enter key once, and now I have a lot of Halloween images. So I'm going to double click on one, and it puts the Halloween image down below 31. But did you notice that the row for this is now larger? So to make it smaller, I'm going to click once on my image that I just inserted, and then I'm going to drag one of the lower corners to the center of the image, and then I'll let go when it's about half size, and that resizes my row to be correct again. Now let's say I want to insert an image after the 16. So I'm going to click to the right of 16, hit the enter key once, and now my insertion point is below the 16. So I'm going to click on Insert, Image, and then go down to Search the Web. And this time I'm going to do a birthday. So I type in birthday and then hit enter. And let's say I want this image to appear under the 16, so I'm going to double click that birthday cake. And there we go. Again, the birthday cake is resizing my row. So I'm going to click once in the center of that cake and then drag the corner to the center, and it makes that birthday cake much smaller. Now let's say I want to have another birthday here on the 19th. So I click to the right of 19, I hit the enter key once, and now I see my insertion point is floating below 19. I'm going to go to Insert, Image, and go across that gray line and down to Search the Web. Now I already have birthdays up here, so I'm going to go and I'm going to click on this birthday. And so when I double click it, it puts in the happy birthday there, and I'm done with my calendar. So I'll pause the video here and let everyone create their customized calendar. Now for my students who are taking my class for credit, you'll need to create a calendar for the next 2 months using the same skills that you just learned in this lesson. The calendar that you're going to be creating needs to have an image, days, a table, and numbers. You may look back on the lessons to help you. And I'll pause the video to allow you to create that project. We're now ready for review questions for lesson number 5. If you're taking my class for credit, take a clean sheet of paper and write your name along the top line, or send an email with the answers. After answering the questions found on the next page, turn them in to Mr. Berry. Question number 1. What is the name of the tool that allows us to change the page margins and layout within a Google Doc? Question number 2. What is the name of this icon? Question number 3. What is the name of this icon? Question number 4. What is the name of this icon? Question number 5. What is the keyboard shortcut to undo a mistake? Question number 6. What are the steps to put in an image into a Google document? Question number 7. What key do you use to jump the insertion point to the next cell? Question number 8. If you do not see the ruler, what do you click on to make it viewable? Question number 9. What does this small blue tool do? Question number 10. What does this small blue tool do? Question number 11. Can images be set to float in front of other images? Question number 12. Where is the word art tool found within the Google Docs app? Question number 13. How do you find new fonts? Question number 14. What does the red underline below a word mean? Question number 15. What does this tool do? Question number 16. What is the shortcut used to highlight all of the text, images, and other elements within a web page or within a Google document? Question number 17. Does Google Docs work offline? Question number 18. What is the keyboard shortcut used to center text and images within a Google document? Question number 19. Is it possible to convert a Google Doc into a Microsoft Word document? Question number 20. What is the Google Docs tool called that tracks changes made to your documents and can undo any step that you have made in the past? Question number 21. Is it possible to convert existing Microsoft Word documents into Google Docs? Question number 22. Which key on the keyboard will add more rows to a table? Question number 23. What does the blue document icon that is found in the top left corner open? Question number 24. What is the name of this tool? Question number 25. What does the keyboard shortcut Control-Shift-E do? In this lesson, we've covered a number of features found within Google Docs. We learned how to rename a Google Doc, changing the page margins and the page orientation, using the ruler to gauge the position of text within a Google Doc, how to insert tables, how to center our text, the use of the undo button, using the tab key to jump to the next cell within a table, how to use the word art within Google Docs, how to change the font style, color, and resize of word art, how to insert an image, how to resize, rotate, and crop an image, how to change the font, and how to change the size of the font. And that concludes lesson number 5 for the computer literacy course. Please click on thumbs up, share the video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Now, one of the things I would like to add too is whenever you click on the thumbs up, it actually does help my channel greatly. Alrighty, well, thank you very much, and bye-bye. Hey, for those who asked which applications I use on my Windows computer to create the videos, I'm using VideoPad Professional by NCH Software, and that is a professional software. So here you see the lesson that I just created. These are all the sound pieces down here, so we call those audio tracks. So I'm using 4 audio tracks, and I'm using a number of video tracks. So if I move up, you can see I'm using 5 video tracks on this particular video, and I can go around and actually play part of it. So if I was to click in here and play it onto your Chromebook or to your Windows machine, all you have to do is click on OK and install. So you can notice how I can zoom in by scrolling in with my mouse, and then I can actually very accurately pin down a moment when I said a word. So here I'm saying a word, and here's the background music, and I can, if I needed to, I could cut that word out, replace it with another word, or just take it out altogether. These right here are transitions right here, so you can kind of see how that transition works. That's a fade in transition. So the way I do it is you click on that box and you can choose whatever kind of transition that you want. So we have crossfade, fade. I use those a lot, and I also use, of course, the shatter and the flip, as well as the page curl. Sometimes I also use this one right here called the slide, and I believe I used it a few times in this video already. This is what it would look like if I didn't do any processing at all. You'd have the green screen, and then after processing you can actually see there's the green screen, and it looks pretty good. So now you know what I'm using to create the lessons for you, and I really appreciate it when you click on thumbs up, you share the video, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, and bye bye.